And what happens on the winter solstice is actually that the sperm, yes, the sperm meets the egg, and they do their dance, and the new year is conceived. So this is the moment from which every coming day will become brighter and bigger and longer, building towards the fecundity and the blossoming of spring. And this was the time all of our ancestors, no matter where they lived, would look forward to, wait for, and often enter into the cave of the earth, where temples were built to catch light right on solstice, right? And we see these all over the world. Why? Because we needed hope that the sun would come again, because we were really freaking cold, right? Without electric lights and without electric heaters. So often we forget now in this common era, in this modern era, that the symbolism of this time is this deep calling into the rebirth within us. And of course, the Christian imagery of the rebirth of the sun, we know that the reason that this time was chosen was because all over the world, this time was understood as the rebirth of the sun, S-O-N. So that symbolism of the forgiveness and the rejuvenation, the purification available at Christmas or at winter solstice, and that Hanukkah also carries, is this invitation to step into the inner flame, the inner illumination, to step into that part within us that is eternal, even beyond death, that entered with us into this life. And what better way than through the temple of our body, this sacred gift we've been blessed with in this lifetime. So let's do it. Bring yourself to your mat. You're probably there already. Have your cozy goods close at hand. And let's start in a supported child's pose. If you don't have a bunch of blocks or blankets handy, that's no big deal. You're going to find a way to get yourself into the pose that feels easy and fluid. For me, I have these big pillows, so I'm going to place them underneath my body in a way where I can really just give my full weight down and let everything surrender here. This shape is a shape of cozy surrender. And if it doesn't feel like that in your body, make any adjustments you need. You might even lie flat on your belly or flat on your back. This is simply a moment to drop into your own breath. And as you settle down into this shape, allow your awareness to travel to those parts of your body that touch the earth. Whatever is making connection with this loving planet underneath you, really give your weight there. Let it all hang out. And if your neck has been gazing in one direction, if you were lifted up, you'll take a slow exhale just to switch directions of your neck. And wherever you are now, see if you can draw your awareness into the low back. And send a conscious, full inhale there. Inviting the breath to spread the pelvis. Inviting the breath to spread the spaces between the ribs. And inviting this posture to feel really good. So if there's any adjustments you need to make, you're welcome to it. We've got a couple breaths here to invite a vocal exhale, a releasing sound. So let's do it together. Inhale into belly, let the belly spread into your support or to the floor. As you exhale, let a sigh out, letting go of your day. And twice more, inviting sound to clear your field, to clear your mind. An exhale that really lets something go here. Whew. And as you finish up that last breath, gently guide yourself back to seated on your heels. Good work, friends. We can get rid of our support temporarily here. And we'll come to the hands and the knees. And I know that there's some of us who are having hand and wrist stuff in the class. So if it makes more sense to even bring the hands up gently on like a couch here, we can do everything in that same position. A little less intensity on the hands. From here, let's inhale the heart forward. Just let the belly drop. And let's actually hang out here for a moment. Belly heavy to floor, broadening chest, broadening heart. One full cycle of breath in this cow posture. And a slow exhale. Let's press the floor or couch away. Round into the spine here and hang out. There is nowhere to go. There's just an unfurling of the posture as you breathe. And maybe your body even wants like a little creative movement in it. Maybe you're trusting your neck moving or your shoulders moving. Either way, let's find what's happening with sensation in the spine, where, if anywhere, you're feeling what's happening for you, that gentle stretch, and come into that with your mind. Let the head dangle, tailbone dangle down. And then as you're ready, let's inhale the heart forward again. This time we're moving with the breath now. Slow exhale, pressing floor away, knees into earth. Round that spine and curl inward. Let's keep that going a few cycles of your own breath. Letting that feel really good in your body. And really letting the breath slow down a bit. Especially that exhale. This has been the exhale of the year. So let's really honor that exhale in the way that it calms our nervous system. Beautiful, friends. For these last couple breaths, maybe we'll explore creative movement. So notice if your spine wants to travel in a circle here. Side to side, or it could be traditional cat-cow, or it could just get really weird and funky. But either way, we want to see if our inner body can be the guide for the movement. And we can just look inward to see which part of our shoulders and hips are naturally calling us to move in some way that only our body could direct us towards. The mind is not quite capable of catching those unique shapes. It's got to come from within, right? One more cycle of breath here to explore the body. And then as you're you're ready, meet me in that cow shape. So press the floor away, plant the fingers. Let's actually reach the sit bones back behind us just a little. Let's come on fingertips here, round the spine, and drop the sit bones down a little or a lot while keeping the round shape. And that is not an easy task. So we'll bring our breath to it as we round the spine on fingertips, dropping sit bones. And then as you're ready, inhale, come on back to neutral. Beautiful work. We'll keep our right hand as the foundation, and we'll open up the left leg, bringing left hand to hip, opening into this supported side plank. And again, if the hands are feeling sensitive, we simply bring the hand up on a couch here, yeah? As you're ready, top hand connects into the heart space. As you breathe here, find that inner light within. You might see or feel a fireplace or a candle right at the center of the sternum there. And from that fire at your center now, expand the arm upward and reach it towards the sky. Now, staying here is excellent. Being gentle on the wrist by pressing fingers down or coming to fingertips is welcome. And just for our warm-up, I'll give you just a little challenge. Maybe the back leg lifts. It's not necessary, but it's welcome. And finally, option number 3 is just to take the foot into the hand. I know it's early, so the quads aren't like super open yet. No biggie. Just find the version that's right for you. Take a sweet round of breath, letting the heart reach forward, away from the knee. Stunning. Slow exhale. Let's unwind to meet with that foot back down on the floor. Beautiful. We'll release the hand on an exhale. Let's tuck the toes underneath from tabletop and see if downward facing dog is on the table today. So that might mean lifting hips. And if that's not a part of your restorative practice today, then maybe you keep the knees on the floor and just walk the hands forward to a puppy pose, letting the heart surrender towards the earth either way. Strong arm bones lifted towards the sky. And we'll explore here, dropping one heel, and then straightening the other leg and dropping that heel. And playing around a bit. Subtle, simple movements in your downward facing dog. Breath full, hips. And as you're ready, we'll slowly, gently release back to tabletop position. And this time the left palm plants into the earth. Open with me now into this supported side plank. And if you're staying here without the leg lifted, you might even reach the arm overhead. That's going to exaggerate the benefits of this side opener. And if you're like, I've got a little fire in me, that leg could even lift, or the knee could bend and you could take a hold, following the inner guidance. From here, we have 2 breaths to focus on expansion of our side waist, allowing the opening of the muscles of the side waist to allow the mind to expand as well. So as the side waist becomes longer, more full of breath, the mind also releases its holding. A last cycle of breath. Unwinding to meet me with foot on the floor if you've lifted it, and a slow release of the palm back down. Good work. Now, if you're coming to down dog, meet me there. If you're staying away from down dog right now, same deal. Walk those hands forward to pup. Let's find a little cycle here. As you inhale, we'll drop our knees, we'll draw the heart forward, we'll expand the front and back bodies into that cow posture. As you exhale, you'll either come to your downward facing dog or you'll crawl your hands forward to release the chest. We'll move with our breath. Inhales, drop us to the knees, lifting heart forward. And exhales, lift the kneecaps into your down dog. We've got 2 more slow cycles with the breath here. Inviting the warmth of your inner fire to move through the breath. Beautiful. Yes. Awesome. Last breath. Good work, friends. Good work. From here, we'll walk our hands slightly forward. Let's leave the knees on the floor. Tap the chest to the earth, elbows hug. Gonna tap the chin, then slowly draw forward. Meet me in this low cobra shape. And from here, we'll draw the hands wider than the mat, maybe even on fingertips. And we'll slowly slither like a snake, side to side. Perhaps letting the head dangle, if that feels right. And if you're pregnant here, we're going to take the same motion in tabletop, except drop the chest so it's close to the earth. So we're getting the shoulders all juiced up. And on your next exhale, go ahead and slide back to your child's pose. And as you inhale, let's bring that right leg forward between the hands. Sometimes it takes a few steps. We'll crawl our left kneecap back a bit. And inhale to draw the hands slowly up to the front thigh. And we'll wait for our breath there. Beautiful, beautiful. Connecting into that fire center at the seat of your heart, we'll take the left hand underneath the right hand right on top. Good. We'll find stability at this deep earth element time of the year, right? By diving the roots of the feet further into the floor, pressing earth down, then gently wrap the front heel towards the back knee until there's a little bit of that stone energy in your legs, a little bit of deep support. On your inhale, let's spread the palms forward as a gift, offering a gift. We'll open them to the sides. And as the palms open to the sides now, connect in with the pelvic floor. Let's lift the pelvic floor up to belly, lift belly to heart, and gently curl back as you deepen the bend of the front knee. It does not need to be deep, right? This is an incredibly powerful shape that we get the most out of when we're really hugging the legs in and we find the lift upward of back and front body. Stunning, friends. As you exhale now, let's take the fingertips to floor. We'll reach the sit bones back behind us. Here's where the hamstrings start to sometimes pose a challenge. So if you do have blocks, I welcome you to take those underneath your palms. I welcome you to keep a bend in the knee, but let's try flexing the front foot. Connecting in with the depth of the pelvic floor right between those sit bones. And let's imagine drawing the right sit bone back as much as the left sit bone. Ooh, that's the opening we're going for. Awesome. Let's spread those front toes and rock forward and back with that ankle. Noticing with the flexion of the ankle, there's a lot of spice that comes up that back leg. Welcome it. And then take that ankle in a circle here, noticing all those funky sensations, breathing into your body at the ankle. Excellent, excellent. On your next exhale, let's slowly rebend the knee. As you do, notice the back shin. Let's take it parallel to the back of the mat. And with the hands inside that foot, look over at the right knee. Keep it tracking forward. That's the challenge of the posture. And you'll see why it's challenging in a moment, because we'll walk our hands forward towards a down dog arm. And again, if that's challenging on the wrists, you could take the hands on a couch here. This is all about the hips. So we want to keep reaching the sit bones behind. Beautiful, guys. Reaching that right knee towards the right side of the room. Excellent. And deepening the bend of the front knee as much as you'd like as you exhale to surrender the heart and the head down. Breathing into the space just above the pelvis, into that low back. A full cycle of breath here, slow and steady, and an inhale to walk the hands up and forward. Beautiful. From here, take your feet with me underneath your hips. I know this isn't the friendliest posture for everyone's knees, right? So if it feels better to have the feet out in front touching, sitting on your booty, you're welcome to it. If, however, your ankles are feeling on board today, you could even tuck your toesies underneath. It's not for everyone, right? But it's just for those of you who are like, yes, my ankles are wanting some solstice juice. Now, if the wrists prefer to stay up and the body lifted, excellent. If you're walking your wrists forward in this position, awesome, meet me there. Now, of course, the cleansing is always one of the most important parts of our seasonal ceremonies. So we've got 3 Kali breaths, 3 lion's breaths together, and we're going to get real weird together on these ones. You know what it is. So we're sticking that tongue out, we're crossing the eyes, we're letting everything go that's not serving us in this moment. So inhale with me into the belly, into the chest. Exhale, stick that tongue out, cross the eyes. 2 more. Big breath into the back body. And last one, really make noise with me, friends. Beautiful work. As you're ready, we'll transition to the other side, however that looks for you. If you're parallel to me, that'll be an easy transition to take your hands into this low lunge shape, maybe blocks. And then from here, as we exhale, let's draw those sit bones back behind just for a moment. It's like a sneak preview. And then inhale, rebend the knee. Draw the hand slowly up to the thigh and take a moment to wait for the breath. This whole season is about slowing down, believe it or not. So the strategic consumer push at this time is most certainly part of the way that we've gotten confused, right, and disconnected. So in this moment, we're going to reconnect to earth elements, stability, steadiness by hugging legs towards each other. And then when you do feel stable, bring the hands into the heart. Awesome. See that light at your center, right front and back of your sternum, underneath the palms. As you inhale, draw the arms out to the side. Let the heart curl up towards the sky and perhaps deepen the bend of the front knee, letting the right and left hip points evenly slide forward. Excellent. As the power of the low belly glides into the pelvis and upward towards the heart and simultaneously releases from the pelvis down into the feet. Awesome. Slow exhale to release, hands to blocks or floor. Let's reach those sit bones back behind us. Starting with that foot, rocking forward and back through the ankle. And even as you do, invite the left sit bone, bottom of your torso, farthest reaches of your torso on that left side. Let it fly backward. Yeah, spreading the muscles of the back of the leg. And then we'll take the toes in a little circle, maybe just side to side or full circles. One more cycle of breath here. An exhale to rebend the knee. Let's take that back shin parallel to the back of the mat. If you do have blocks, sometimes it's even nice to walk them inside here. Check in with the length of your inner left thigh and just let the left knee spread forward keep it there if you can as you fold. Hinging at the hip to lengthen the long spine down towards this extended shape. And focusing again in on the breath. Each inhale fills the body like stoking a gentle fire, like the fire at the end of the night, just that last log. And each exhale's just a surrender down through the chest. Beautiful, beautiful. As you're ready, an inhale draws us back up. Beautiful. Let's go ahead and take both feet out in front. Now, just in this last moment of hip opening here, we'll take the feet together. But I do want to encourage you, if you do have pillows or cozy blankets, a lift can often take the guesswork out of the low back posture. So if you have a support that helps you connect in with the innate power of your posture, you're welcome to it. And as the inner feet connect, as they come into this prayer position, there's the engagement there, right? They're hugging. We'll walk the right hand over to the right, take the left hand to the hip, drop it down, and then, so you drop the hip down, then the left arm comes up and over, and we've got that side bend there. It might even be down on the elbow if your side waist is really expansive this evening. And as you breathe here, allow the neck to take a shape of ease. And invite a breath to spread the rear lower ribs. So the lower ribs expanding, very full through the back lung. A slow inhale to crawl your fingers even closer. We'll take that left hand behind us. The right hand, if you're pregnant, on the right knee. Otherwise, over to the left knee. Let's inhale to lift the spine. Exhale, look over the left shoulder as the right hip bone drains into the floor. Slow exhale to unwind, coming back to center. And then we'll reach those left fingertips over like little spiders, walking them to the side. Take the right hand to the right hip, drop it like a sandbag into the floor. If you have a sandbag, you could put a sandbag there, even better. And the right arm reaches up overhead and long to the side. You might even push the floor away with the left hand to exaggerate the rainbow shape of that side waist. A slow inhale to unwind by lifting and lengthening. Beautiful, beautiful. From here, we'll release any prop underneath the hips. I'd like to have you meet me with your legs out in front. And you're going to want to know where any supports you have might be, including a block. So many of us don't have blocks, right? But if we do have pillows, these serve really well as well for where we're headed. If you're not there already, let's take it vertebrae by vertebrae, connecting in with the sacred channel of the spine by dropping the belly button. Nice. Rolling down little by little. There's each vertebrae imprinted onto the floor. Excellent. Excellent. Once you're there, really let yourself release. And from here, if you do have a block or some pillows, I invite you into a supported bridge posture. If we have a block, we could be just on the lowest setting, so much ease. We could even take it on a middle setting. Or if you've already done some action before this practice, you could even take it on the highest setting. And many of us will just kind of grab some pillows and find a way to get them under there. Ooh, that's a challenge just to kind of get them under. And then from there, the hips are gently lifted. We'll release the knees, the heels, especially if it's pillows underneath you. Heels to the side, knees knock gently. So there's no holding in the legs. And then the arms come overhead. Let's touch the thumb to the pointer finger in the diamond mudra so that the chest can spread here. Yeah. And this posture is about lengthening the low back. So if you feel that the low back is crunching or the booty's kind of left on its own here, dangling off a block or a blanket, you can imagine smoothing down your coattails, which is your upper buttocks, to lengthen the back deeper into the block, floor, pillows, until you feel like there's a freedom of breath that moves through the entire spaciousness of your back body. If it feels right to close your eyes, you're welcome to it. Otherwise, you might even just let the eyes go dreamy and half opened. This continues to be the season of dreaming, the season where water element of fall meets the earth element of winter. And we're allowing the posture to shape the body just like water shapes earth. I'm here in the incredibly sacred land of Sedona, where the formations of rock climb to the sky from the barren plains of the desert. And these formations were created by the waters and the winds. In the same way, allow the earth of your body to be gently impacted by the air element of your breath. The fullness of the belly, the absolute gooey drop on the exhale of all the cells, all the muscles. And you might be perfect here, or for this next minute or two, it might make sense to draw the hands to the outer jaw and to find the space where the jawbone meets the cheekbone on the side of your face, and just to massage in with your fingers. You'll know you're in the right area when it feels tender. So we'll breathe here into that space as we take gentle circles, diving into that no man's land between the cheekbone and the lower jawbone, where if you really get it creative in there, if you really explore, you're going to find, yeah, it's pretty sensitive, especially if you open the mouth and allow the muscles to pop into your hands. And if your hands are on your jaw, you might travel with me to let them touch the tops of the earlobes. Let's brush a fine dust from the earlobes, from the top all the way down to the bottom. So releasing, just like you're brushing dust off your keyboard or your mantle. And then as you're ready, let that go. Releasing the hands, allow the hips to lift as you're ready, and we'll slide the pillows or blocks out from underneath us. Excellent. Inviting the knees to draw into the chest now. Let's rock a little side to side. As you exhale, we'll take as easeful and really floppy transition as we can. So let's turn to the side in fetal position for a moment and check in with the body and really just let the entire weight of your body go into the floor. And whatever side you're on, that lower knee is about to become the stretch. So again, continue to let the head hang heavy as you gently guide the hands to draw the torso towards a lift. It's almost like a half lift, like a rag doll kind of lifting. And now that bottom knee becomes our pigeon knee. And the key for pigeon in a restorative, because we're going to take it there, friends. We're going to be here for a minute. So I invite you into friendly version of pigeon, where the back leg is actually, instead of being elongated here, it might actually just be at an angle. And we're going to want our supports to come in front. And I invite you to start with that front foot as close to the groin as feels okay, because that's going to make it a little less intense. And we want to start there. This isn't about intensity here. This is about letting go. From here, let's turn to draw the center of the belly forward towards our support. And as you exhale, let's draw long over that front knee and cuddle up with your blankies and pillows and really let everything get super supportive so you can let the head go. Maybe even layers of blanket. And if you notice that your hips are just totally open, maybe you've already done a yoga practice and you feel comfortable actually expanding the back leg back, that's also invited in this pigeon pose. But we want to find a variation where you can just let your belly be full with breath on an inhale. And any residual holding in the hips can begin to drain down through the pelvis. And if the knee joint doesn't like this posture, there's always the exact opposite stretch, which is simply to take that same knee a little wider, and then from there to really let go into it. And as you find your variation, notice the heaviness of your head. And imagine that the brain was like a bag of soil, and you could really just let it become one with the floor underneath you. Heaviness and ease through the earlobes. A broadening of the jaw. And a spreading of the muscles of the neck as you invite the exhale just to spread the body a little wider without effort onto your support. As you breathe here, let's come into an awareness of the tongue, allowing it to blanket the bottom of the mouth. Traveling down with your attention all the way through that passageway of the throat, allowing the tongue to be easy and broad all the way down into the root of the neck. And as you snuggle up, this easeful tongue and jaw has created a clear passageway for a slow exhale. the eyeballs be heavy here. There's just a cycle of breath. So maybe there's a subtle sway of the hips, a subtle, sumptuous exploration of the hips side to side. Small movements, big sensations. And when it feels right for you to slowly rise, our challenge here is to switch as easily as possible. So minimal engagement of mind, minimal engagement of muscles to travel towards the other leg. Perhaps starting with that knee out to the side. Same thing, nuzzle yourself in here. And often I find if the bolster is too far ahead and just our head's supported, then sometimes our belly feels like it's out to dry. So you might allow a belly to be underneath, almost on top of your hip, right? So you can really let the head be completely supported, as much lift as you need. And as you notice the difference between sides here, we again invite the breath to be the passageway inward to sensation. Noticing the hips. You might again find some subtle movements of the hips, so small, right? Just to find where there might be a stretch. There doesn't need to be a stretch here. Just invite the entire musculature of the low back to broaden like melting butter around the outer hip points, tops of thighs melting into the earth. And spaciousness between the shoulder blades. Noticing the in-between spaces between each vertebrae. And allowing them to expand with inhale. To soften with exhale. And wherever you are, let's notice the way the breath interacts with the low belly. If you're conscious of the area where our reproductive organs would be, we'll now invite the breath to gently flow into the reproductive organs. And of course, if you are pregnant, to invite the breath to surround baby. And whatever chromosomes you were born with, this is the space in our body that has the potential to create life. This is the space where nothing becomes something, or at least that potential exists. And at this time of the year, there is no need to know what this new phase might hold for you. The new year, this transition you're in, this challenge you're in, or this joyful period you're in. No need to put specifics on the canvas. The purpose of solstice is to breathe into the pure potential within you. So now let's invite the image of a fire, a candle, into our pelvis. And as you breathe, notice the steadiness of the flame. Holding your awareness, that inner eye, on the center of the flame, that spot where blue becomes white or yellow or orange. See that point in the candle where the blue becomes white, that space of activation. And we have a cycle of breath, the slowest cycle yet, to be with that image in the pelvis, this space of pure potential, the new cycle already lying within you. Wonderful. And as you're ready, we'll slowly unwind out of the shape. Beautiful. I honor your willingness to be with these slow postures. It's not always easy. Our final posture for Yoga Nidra is going to be super supportive. So if you know that you have a cozy position, you can get yourself into your favorite. I'm going to show you the most luxurious, and you're just going to look at what you have and make do and just find a way to be cozy within it. So number one, we can lie down completely flat and just have some pillows underneath the knees so that we can, so I'll show you number one just with two pillows, and you want to kind of get a bunched up so that the inner thighs can spread. If you are pregnant, you may want to have yourself with a lift. It's not actually necessary. But if you do have blocks, you could also bring yourself into a supported, reclined position here. And this also works very well with a bolster. So I'm going to get myself into like Maha posture, like full surrender posture. And often if you do have blocks, it gets really high here for not having done a lot of heart opening, in which case we could just drop our blocks to a little bit lower level, friendlier level. And then if you do have an extra blanket, I invite you to cover yourself with a blanket or simply lay it right over that womb space or that hara space, those organs, to just let the sacred battery pack be protected and honored with warmth and heaviness. If you happen to have sandbags, they go really well. One sandbag over outer hip, other sandbag over other outer hip. We're finding a way to be with open heart and a way to it's like the birth isn't here yet. That's in spring, right? But it is beautiful. And of course, there's only a couple of us that are the sacred mothers in this room. There's a few. We're blessed to have a couple. But it's as if we are preparing the muscles of the legs to spread. So it's easing the inner thigh muscles for the new life that will be born through us. As the inner thigh is released to the sides, just double check in that you're not feeling a big pull. So this isn't the time to be really focused on flexibility. Instead, it's more of a time to be in a space of pure ease so that the body is getting an opening, but the nervous system feels like it's just cozy napping or settling into bed for the night. And if the posture I offered doesn't make sense for you, that's fine. Just find a way to be comfortable in your body. And as you settle in, we'll begin exploring the temple of the body, starting with the right big toe. Noticing right big toe, you might even gently move it if that feels right. And feel the bone at the center of the toe and see if you can even invite breath to expand right into the feet. Yeah, I notice some of us turning off lights. What a beautiful way to support your relaxation, or covering eyes. And now, can you feel your left big toe? Left big toe. Yeah. Can you notice the shape of the left big toe, its roundness? Is it warm enough? Does it want to dig under a blanket? Always welcome. Let's travel up to the right kneecap. Noticing the right kneecap and inviting your breath to travel directly down to the right knee so that the whole joint is supported and surrounded with attention. And allow your mind to travel now to the left side of the hip. That space right in front of the thigh becomes the pelvis, becomes the torso. That hip joint. And as you breathe into that space, allow the breath to broaden the spaciousness of the bone of the thigh as it meets the bone of the pelvis. So the breath is creating space in the left hip. Noticing that. And now as you breathe, traveling upward to the space of the belly, the whole expanse of the belly. And noticing the way that the belly skin is impacted by your breath. And maybe even traveling underneath the skin to the thin layer of muscle that supports the front of your belly and wraps around your waistline. Notice the way the muscles are impacted by the fullness of your breath. You might notice the spaciousness within your belly. And now let's travel in our awareness to the right shoulder blade as it's supported on the floor. Noticing the way that the breath increases the weight. The inhale increases the weight of the torso into the shoulder blade as the shoulder blade meets the floor. And how on your exhale, the shoulder blade is just still and easeful. It's almost like the shoulder blade is one with the floor. Like the shoulder blade is melting into the floor. And we travel towards the left arm now. Let's draw our attention to the left elbow. Noticing the way gravity gently guides the bones that meet at the elbow to drop into the floor, heavy through the bones of the arm. And traveling up through the left arm and across now. Draw your attention all the way down to the left hand. And you might notice the way the fingers are curled. And see if they can just drop a little tension from the front of the palm. It's not a straightening of the fingers at all. It's simply a heaviness of the skin of the back of the palm that allows the left hand to be more receptive. And traveling now up the arm, back to the skull. Let's notice the scalp over the bones of the head. And with your exhale, notice the way that the scalp spreads. Notice the way the scalp drops towards the earth. And as it does, the way that it smooths the lines of the forehead without effort. And lastly, the ears. Allow them to melt down the side of the head and to even move underneath the surface of the earth. So the whole body is heavy here in deep rest. The whole body relaxed. The whole body at ease. In this space of surrender, being patient with the mind, as it might be offering all kinds of thoughts, we let them pass like clouds in the sky, as we invite the fullness of the breath to enter the entire body at once, palms, feet, knees, elbows, and chest filling with breath. An exhale that softens every muscle cell in the body so that the body is indeed becoming one with the earth below. On this darkest night, on this shortest day, honoring and remembering that the ease of our rest, of our self-care, creates fertile ground for the new life that's being born through us, as us. And on the next inhale, invite a breath full of potential, breathing in the mystery of the cycles of the year, just breathing in mystery generally. We don't know what that next year holds. We don't know if we have a literal baby in our womb. We don't know what that looks like. But we're breathing into potential, inviting in curiosity, open-mindedness, inner spaciousness. And we'll let that breath continue to deepen and lengthen. And this might be an excellent place for you to stay. Or it might be that your body is asking for some gentle movements through the fingers. A gentle awakening of the bones of the hands, spreading. The toes might move, just defrosting. And if the body is guiding you and asking you to slowly awaken here, you might even begin a slow and mindful stretch. We'll all be taking different versions of awakening. So listen inward and find your own unique way of continuing in this shape, or of gently and slowly guiding the body towards a fetal position. If and when you do find a fetal position, let it be luxurious. Let the head remain one with the earth for just another moment. And in this moment, remember, let yourselves remember when you did take this shape once upon a time in the womb cave of your own mother, held without gravity in a watery paradise, allowing yourself to be held by the infinite support offered by the cycles of nature. And when it does feel right to rise, if it feels right to take a meditation posture, you are more than welcome into it. And however and wherever you are in your body, we'll just invite a few vocal exhales. They don't have to be dramatic, but we're letting the inhale in through the nose to fill the low belly flame. And as you exhale, out through the mouth, like fogging a mirror with the moisture from your throat. And twice more, this exhale that is long and full and luxurious. And if you have found a meditation posture, you might take our Lakshmi Mudra, palms face up at the sides, could be on the thighs, could also be gently lifted. And if you're lying flat, you might even turn the palms face up. The open palms now symbolize our willingness to receive, as well as our willingness to give freely. This gesture of the hands calls us back into the organic cycles of nature, the giving, the receiving, the winter, the summer, the inhale, the exhale. Instead of the grasping of the closed palm, just breathe into the openness of the palm. This is a palm that could hold anything. These are hands that can create anything. With open palms, bow the head towards the body to honor this incredible body that heals itself, that creates and recreates life every moment through cellular reproduction. And when it feels right, invite the open palms to meet right at the fire of the heart. And as you exhale, bow the head down to the wisdom of nature that lives inside of you, to the awakened mind, to the awakened heart, to the body that heals itself. Bowing to our ancestors who knew this time was sacred, and bowing to the native people of the land on which you sit. You might release the hands to the earth and perhaps touch the forehead there, bowing to the earth herself, who provides for all of our needs. Namaste.